Vine smirked, her back against the tray vault, as she flipped the coin in her hand after successfully robbing off $1 million. It was not her first time, and certainly not her last either. She could buy countries by this point with all the robberies she did with her talent. It had been easy for her, of course. She was a pro after all, stealing since she was a child. She grew up spoiling herself since there was no one else to spoil her. As time passed, she leaned off the vault and looked at the cash and blinding gold bars. Nothing ever went wrong in any of her robbery. Then why did she hear a faint sound? Her senses high on alert, something was clearly wrong, and before she could blink, there was a knife around her throat and a man behind her back. Don't move, he said. His voice rang in her ear like a deep growl. She was near to death, but she couldn't help but notice how pretty that voice was. Wine. I'm not moving. She raised her hands easily in a surrender with a playful smirk. I am Officer Jungkook from Special Division Sector 4. You're under arrest for numerous robberies. Wine. Officer Jungkook? That's an interesting name. Jungkook turned her around and held her hands, fishing out handcuffs from his pockets. One look at the playful expression in Jungkook was awestruck. He didn't know the woman he was after for months was this bold and pretty. Wine. Be gentle, officer. I'm a fragile lady. Jungkook raised a brow before he started to cuff her. Jungkook, you have a right to remain silent or hire an attorney. Everything will be used against you in the court. Wine. Everything? She tilted her body slightly in a flirting manner, her eyes wide with excitement. She didn't look like she feared getting arrested. Jungkook, everything. She chuckled and stepped forward. Jungkook kept losing his focus. Those eyes, they kept clouding his vision. He was a man with purpose. Other officers in his division either respected him for working too hard or hated him for working hard. Why, then, officer, how about this? She giggled ever so seductively and held his collar with her cuffed hands and pulled him down in for a kiss. She got on her toes while they kissed. Jungkook widened his eyes, but he was unable to pull away. Like a strong force pulling him against her, he was losing it. He was losing it so bad. The moment those lips touched her, he was down so bad. Miles licked his lips before pulling back and winked at as she stepped away. Jungkook was speechless, his breath gone, heartbeat crazy as he looked at her. When she raised her hands, they were uncuffed. She showed him the key she stole from his pocket. She was a thief after all. It was a piece of cake. She threw both the things and winked at him before running away. It all happened so fast, within a blink of an eye, that Jungkook couldn't react. He groaned, punched his fist against the wall, and cursed. It took him months to get her, just to be seduced by a kiss. Jungkook, the hell is wrong with you? He yelled at himself, panting heavily, but the image of her up so close to him, the feeling of her lips against his, clouded his brain all over again. A week passed by, and Jungkook couldn't shake the feeling away. He couldn't focus on work or anything at all. Whatever he did, wherever he went, all he saw and felt was her. Like an addict, he wanted more, so he started to search for her again. It was nearly impossible with her strategies. No one was able to ever get a lead on her. It was another night in Jungkook's household when he stepped out of the shower, tired after another day of not able to force on work. However, as soon as he stepped out of the washroom, he saw her. There was no way. He was hallucinating, right? Sitting right there on his couch like she owned it. Wyan, you were pretty home. I wouldn't mind calling in mine. Okay, he was hallucinating. Wyan, in his hallucination, stood up and marched up to him. And the first thing she did was kiss him. It felt real. No, it was real. Jungkook was not going to regret twice. He threw the towel away from his hand and wrapped his arms around her, taking the lead. Wine loved it, the way he held her and took the lead as he stepped forward, pinning her against the wall. The two kissed until they couldn't breathe, and when they pulled back, Jungkook had her hands pinned against the wall above her head, not ready to let go. She was a criminal after all. Jungkook, pretty daring of you entering a police officer's home, that too, like the sneaky thief you are. Wyan, what are you talking about? I just entered my soon to be husband's home. Is that a crime too, Dolly? She blinked her eyes innocently, and Jungkook was sold all over again. Jungkook, enough of your games. Why are you here? Why? Because I want you, and you didn't leave my mind since that night. She groaned and pushed him, slapping his chest afterwards as if she was his girlfriend or something. Why? Why would you do that? With what right? Jungkook, is that a crime? Then you're guilty, milady. His voice sent shivers down her spine. Jungkook stepped near her again, this time his moves gentle as he cupped her cheek. Jungkook, why did you steal? Why do you have to be a criminal? Why? I'm not. Or at least I don't believe myself to be a criminal. She stepped away from him, taking a seat on his bed, feeling the sheets under his hands. Wine. All the money I save goes to the deserving people from these so-called rich ones who earn it from illegal means. Jungkook was an officer. It was still a crime no matter the intention. Plus, he didn't know if she was lying or not. Jungkook, and you will stop doing them. Why? I won't. Jungkook, there are other ways to help the needy. Wang looked away, clearly not listening to him. Why? Date me. Go out with me, and I will think about it. Jungkook, date? I'm an old-fashioned man. I don't do those things. I get a woman and directly wife her up. Wine smirked and Jungkook saw a touch of warmth in her smile. He took a seat beside her again, leaving a kiss on her lips as he held her jaw. He couldn't believe he had a criminal in his room and he was dating her now. A bond so attractive, like two magnets attracting each other. Jungkook brought her in his embrace, and he could feel the way she melted in those arms, ready to see what the future held for him.